Are we live? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
How is everyone today? We are having a little bit of technical difficulty getting Joe on screen. So sorry, we've been trying to diagnose that and get him to join us. He is here in the studio. We just can't see him. So let's go ahead and get started, and maybe Keith and Joe can work on that in the background. We are back from Waxstock, and we are back from Portland. And Keith is still in Portland. But we've got our Waxstock shirts on. I have my clean and shiny, and Keith's wearing his Waxstock shirt. So where are we today? We are still tired. We're still a little jet lagged, right? Still trying to get back into the mix of everything, right?
Yep.
How are you feeling this week?
I'm not bad. Yesterday was what I would call the hangover day from the party, though nobody got really too crazy. It's the day after. So clean up for me. A lot of pet therapy for the gun shy pets, and just getting ready for the next 3 weeks, which are going to be busy for all of us.
Awesome. Yes, it is very busy. So let's do a little recap on, so last time we saw you all on Bead Maker and Coffee, we were getting ready to leave in 2 days for London to go to Waxstock. So we did that Wednesday to Wednesday. So we just got home really late last Wednesday night. And oh boy, where do we start breaking that down? It was, we had a lot of fun. The show Waxstock was awesome.
Yeah.
Super, super great. If you guys did not catch my quick walkthrough that we did on the last day, it's on Instagram. You can go check that out. That was kind of a funny situation. I had all these big plans on going live several times a day and showing everybody around. And then when we got there and did the math, literally the entire US is asleep during the show. So there was not a lot of reason to go live. So it was kind of funny. So I do have a lot of video and stuff. I just need to get it all edited. But man, it was great. It was great. And what a cool show. They bring in, some of the attendees' cars. They have like the top 16. We got to kind of help with that. And one thing that I noticed about the UK is that there's a lot of really budget cars, if you will.
Yeah.
So a lot of the cars are just very basic. They're like stripped down versions of ours here in the US. So you might see a Toyota or a Hyundai or even Audis and BMWs, but you'll see models that we don't have here, and they're almost like stripped down models, which is interesting. But then what was cool is when it came time for this car show was these cars that just enthusiasts bring, they were nicer than most of the show cars we see here. So it was like kind of one extreme to the other. I felt it was really interesting. But just really, really cool stories with the cars. Really, there was a lot of booths. There was a lot of people. And it was a fun show. And it was not like the shows in the US, at least not one that I've been to. So nothing like MTE, SEMA, the booths, there was some SEMA style booths, but just the whole vibe of the show and who attends the show, totally different. It was really, really fun.
The car show was interesting because the judging criteria was on how well detailed, not on necessarily the year,
Right.
the make, the interestingness of the car, but really
Yep.
on how well detailed and maintained it was, which, kind of makes it truly a detailer's award, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. And so that was interesting. I've also never seen a car show be judged so thoroughly. I mean, they had like I think it was like a 4-page clipboard of areas that they had to check. And I'm talking like underneath, in the wheels. I'm sure there's other car shows that for sure have a tight, frame like this, but this was crazy because this was literally judging it on how clean it was. And if there was even a speckle in their trunk, they got marked down for it. So it was pretty crazy. Um, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. We traveled with the 4 rag company guys, right? And that was a little bit crazy. The train system over there, half of it was on strike. So if you can imagine how much they rely on the train system over there, and it was just crazy to have half the trains cancel. Um, so travel was a little bit interesting for us, but we navigated it all. We didn't lose anybody. So I would say that was a success.
Despite our best
But
efforts, we did not lose anyone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was a lot of fun. And so yeah, we got home late Wednesday night, and then we went to your house. We had a little squatcha queue. So that was really fun. We had a bunch of people come from all over the Northwest, and even Bob Phillips flew in for us from California. So crazy filled 2 weeks. So we just got home last night. Um, Keith got his house back, and here we are. Here we are. So Joe is here. We still can't seem to
We
get
can't
his
see him,
video
but
feed
he's here.
on, but he is here. So what else? What do we want to talk about?
Well, why don't you talk a little bit about the special car building experience we had on Friday last week?
Oh yeah, yeah. So
The
last
week and a half.
Friday, that was kind of our first. Um, when you travel that way, you kind of lose a day essentially. So we left on Wednesday, but we got there and it was Thursday. So we uh, basically kind of passed out for the rest of Thursday. But then Friday morning, we got up really early and we headed out to the Morgan factory. If you guys don't know what the Morgan factory is, they are, it's really, their story is absolutely impressive, but they've been building cars forever. Was it since the 40s, 30s? Long time, long
Um,
time.
I want to say 1912 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of like those old British looking cars, but they still build them today. But now they're obviously all the engines, all the electronics, everything is totally modern. And so that was really fun. So you get to do a guided tour. And so it was just our group. We had 7 in our group because we had a gentleman named Roberto, who was one of our favorite people on the trip. And we did a guided tour. We got to see them from beginning to end. So, concept to finish. And it was really cool because most people, hey, Joe, most people get to literally order their car and they pick every aspect of it. So, obviously, which model they want, what color, the wheels, the stitching on their uh, seats. I mean, it's crazy. They order everything custom, which is so cool. And so we got that whole tour. They're probably the one of the only cars still made with wood, right? There's wood elements to it.
Yeah, they make it
Um,
with ash, English ash, which is
yeah,
cool. And the
yeah,
other thing is they're all aluminum cars, which
yep,
if you've been in England, you know it rains a little bit. That's probably good for the rust factor.
yes,
So,
yes.
um,
So it was really cool though. So the factory, I mean, they are really cool. Gift shop, and just all done really, really well. And that's where they've been the whole time. So we got to hear stories of, how they expanded and why it was built the way it was. And we learned a lot and it was really interesting, really, really interesting. So that was super fun to see just the evolution of that car and the fact that they're still around. And the people that work there, so impressive, right?
Hmm.
So impressive. And what surprised me, to be honest, was a lot of them were pretty young. And we have, in the US, I would say that I don't see that many, what's the right word for this? Like people that go into that trade that
Yeah.
are that devoted to it. So just the car builders and their craft, and it was really impressive to see the age demographic amongst the workers. To me, that was really cool.
Yeah, you think they say, the craftsmanship and the craftsmen. We should say
Yeah.
craftspeople because there were ladies there who were killing it
Oh yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, is a dying breed, but it's
Hmm.
very much alive there. And
Yeah. Yeah.
there were a lot of young men and women who were. I mean, actually, the Finnish detailer was a gal that she must have been. She didn't look much
Yes.
older than 30. If she was
No.
that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were
No, she
turning out
looked really young.
fantastic work, and
Yep.
it was a neat experience. I always
Yeah.
wanted to kind of see a hand built. I the word I kept coming back to was bespoke. Very
Yes.
very
Yep.
custom everything. You pick almost every line, and then hey, if the
Hmm.
fender gap between the wheel well and the radiator was bigger than your hand, it was a powerful car. That was the
Yes.
takeaway I got to. Is So it was a neat experience. We got to
Yep.
see a cars built. Um,
Yep.
and I mean, they went right through the war, and they obviously got converted for war production in World War II, but came back.
Hmm.
So, and then we got back. Our misadventures with trains were entertaining for sure. And then we got back, and Saturday was the first day of the show, so it was the first for Waxstock. And
Yep.
want to congratulate the entire team at Waxstock. I mean, you guys
Mhm. Oh
took a risk
yeah.
this year.
Killed it.
They added an extra day, and it was really kind of the professionals preview day on Saturday for a few hours, about four
Hmm.
hours,
Yeah.
and that was just a great time. Really kind of relaxed. And I know Sydney, you'd mentioned, boy,
Hmm.
I was a little worried they weren't going to draw anybody, and then
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
the lines, I was just shocked at the volume of people that were coming in.
Hmm. Yeah, there were so many. Yeah, on Saturday, that was interesting. I mean, there was people there. There was people there, but I was in my head, I was thinking back to previous videos we had seen from the ride company and stuff about, there just being so many people. And so Saturday there was people there, but I was a little bit concerned because it wasn't crazy. It was fairly calm, and there wasn't people running everywhere like I had pictured. But it really was more the highlight for pros and other distributors and things like that. And so I thought that was really cool. And then looking back, I was like, yeah, that's really great to kind of have that preview, that kind of calmer time for people to make sure they get around and talk to everybody before it's just absolutely nuts on Sunday.
Yeah,
So I thought it worked out really, really well. I thought it was great. We also had the challenge of that it was pouring down rain, right? So I think that hindered their car show outside a little bit, but still, what a great turnout for not having that element. It was still a really great turnout. So that was all awesome. And then on Monday, we went and did a tour of Windsor Castle. We did not get to go inside. We were just on the outside, but that was very cool. And then Tuesday, we spent the day at John Hole's place, which is called Clean and Shiny. That is the distributor for both PNS and the Rad Company over there in London, and that was so fun.
yeah,
Um, always great, to visit our distributors, and it's kind of like it's kind of like visiting other detail shops. Like they're all so different, but there's such cool elements to every single one,
yeah.
but they're all so different. And so again, fantastic staff. So that's always so great to see, the passion for, um, the tools and just detailing in general. It was really, really cool. So yeah, we had a great time, and I really enjoyed that day. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great day. I mean, John's got a detail shop, he's got a
Mhm.
retail store, and
Yeah.
he's also got all the distribution stuff. So he's got a lot
Yep.
going on, and in not a very large space, and he
Right.
making it work. And his space got a little smaller, as I understand it, on Friday because he got a container of PNS in. So
Nice. Nice.
they're probably busy unloading that and distributing it around the country right now. So
Very fun. Very fun.
well,
Well,
we got
good.
some
Well, we are
questions.
still,
Sid, are you ready?
yeah, let's start. I know Joe is still trying everybody. We saw him pop in for just a minute, but he's having trouble getting his mic working. So I'm sure he will join us. He's continued to work on it. So, all right, Frank here with, can I use Brake Buster on vehicles with carbon ceramic brakes? You can. You just really want to be careful with how long like any cleaners. This isn't just Brake Buster, it's any cleaner. You want to make sure that you're not leaving it sitting on them for a long time. I usually always like to pre-rinse them just so that I'm not spraying it on dry. I've never had a problem with them. I have several cars with carbon brakes, not personally, but customers. And so I just usually pre-rinse, and then I don't leave it sitting on there very long. I work quickly, rinse. Haven't had an issue with them. So I think you're good to go. You can always, if you would like, you can, kind of test an area. The other thing I do is I make sure that I'm not spraying it directly on the rotor, if that makes sense. I really try to keep the Brake Buster on the wheel, and so you can even pre-spray it on your tools and things like that if you need to. But I just try to not spray the actual rotor and the brake pad as little as possible. I don't soak them like maybe I do other brakes.
Yeah, and it does have a rust inhibitor in it. Of course, that doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
affect carbon ceramic, but
Mm-hmm.
so it's not going to do make the wheel disc rust, but
Right.
it's a nice factor there. So
Yeah. Yep.
Good morning, John folks. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, crew. I'm not sure who that's from.
I gotta go back to my little
Yeah, we
page
got to go
here.
back to our team.
That was Kyle Camus. Good morning, Keith.
Morning,
Joe.
Josh.
Hi, Josh. We'll see Josh in a couple weeks.
Yes, we will. We got to talk about that too. So,
yep. Good morning from hot and sticky Myrtle Beach. No kidding. I went on my honeymoon over there. I went to North Carolina and South Carolina, and I thought it was hot. I thought it was sticky. But then one morning we got up and we drove from Charlotte, and like at 7:00 in the morning, we drove to Myrtle Beach. I want to say we got there around 9:30, and we opened our doors, and this was in the middle of August, and it was like, what just happened? It was the stickiest place I've ever been. So I felt that comment. Good morning, Hans. So we got to see Hans. That was so fun. So we got to see Hans. We hung out with him quite a bit at Waxstock, right? We did a couple dinners and stuff. So that was really fun, especially for me to finally meet Hans. We've been chatting on these, Q&As and on the Rag Company side too for years. So that was really fun. It's nice to go to a place where you feel like you already have friends. I think that was cool.
And we felt that way for
thank
sure.
You, Hans, for everything. Yeah.
Yep. And hey, speaking of friends, we got to talk about our Scottish gentleman that came and played well with us as well. So
Yep. We had a little tour guide, Alan. He's our Scottish friend, and we adore him. He did such a great job.
Yeah, he's kind of the MC of the show, or has been.
Yeah.
And this year he did a lot more social media stuff, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we walked around and did on several different channels. We walked around and did kind of walk and talks. And so I know if you go to the Waxstock channel too, there was several on there. And then we did one. And then, of course, the Rag Company had several. But yeah, Kimberly says, greetings, everyone. What's the best Waxstock 2023 that made you laugh? Well, I don't know if it can be said on this show, but let's see. Let me try to figure out which one could be talked about. I don't know. There was so many. I don't even know how I would file through them. Do you have one, Keith? I don't know. I mean, there was a lot. There was,
yeah.
So many.
I think, just getting on the train, right? So, we're trying to get 8 of us actually, to go to the Morgan factory. So our first train ride we're like, okay,
Hmm.
which track are we got to be on? We're all running over there, and then there's the where's Jimmy, because Jimmy's got the big suitcase and he's taking the
Right.
elevators or the lifts, and we're taking
Yeah.
the stairs. So we all leave Jimmy behind, but then here comes Jimmy across the top, and then we
Yes.
look around like, where's Anthony? And the train's here, and yeah,
Hmm.
just the coordination to get 8 people to get on one train when we
Yeah.
don't know where the hell we are. That's usually
Yeah. The train situation was definitely interesting to try to navigate. My favorite, not favorite part was the last day where I think we literally probably had, if I added it up based on when we checked into the airport, I think we had like close to 400 pounds of luggage
yeah.
that we were literally pulling behind us, right? So to get 6 people and 400 pounds of luggage from one place to another was in the rain was very interesting. So that if I had to look back at us being huddled in this little covered train station, it was a funny moment where you sat there and went, "What are we doing? What are
Well,
we
and maybe
doing?"
the elevators, the lifts were also funny because we're trying to
Yeah.
cram 6 people, 7 people
Yep.
into a lift with 400 pounds of luggage,
Yeah.
and the lifts there are not big, so
No.
yeah, we were a
Yeah.
show.
No. There was a lot. We laughed the whole week, so there was a
Yeah.
lot. That there was a lot of laughing. We were a mess. We clearly looked like the lost Americans for
Yeah, we
sure.
were we were the Clampets. We were the Clampets.
Yes.
We that just
Yes.
and there are a
Yes.
few folks on the show who may actually know who they are. If you don't, you got to Google it.
Yep.
I'm not giving it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, got to shout out to this guy, man.
Yes.
What
Goodness
what
gracious.
a
Yes.
great thing. So last year we did the Squatch Queue, and Sydney and Mike came in a day early, and we had the time right. They came in the morning. We had all day Friday. We went out. We went shopping. We got meat. We did all the work. This year we got home. We were totally jet lagged. Jason Barker offered about a month and a half ago to cook us brisket. And
Yes.
what a brisket. I mean, just
It was
what a
so
brisket.
good. Oh my gosh.
So good.
So
It
good.
melted in your mouth good. Saved us, just absolutely saved the party. And what a fantastic job. And thank you, Jason, for cooking. Can't
Yep.
thank you enough.
Yes. It was so great. And always great to see Jason. But yes, the food was, and he made it look so easy too, right? Because he
Yeah.
showed up, sat around, chatted, like the day was just so relaxing, and then all of a sudden he goes out to his truck and then comes back in and just like starts slicing up meat like it, it was just like so it looked so easy. I'm sure he spent the entire morning on it, but it cracked me up because it was just like so he was so chill about it, like not, it was just slicing meat and it was so good. So
And
good.
then yesterday he
Yeah.
was out at another competition. So,
I
I
saw
mean,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I saw that. Crazy, crazy. So
And
yes, it
then
was great to see you, Jason.
yeah, it was great to see him. And by the way, his truck has a cool story too.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yeah, so he brought a truck that it was a Chevy, right?
it was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what year it was. He could chime in, but he brought a Chevy truck, and what was cool was we got to talking about it because I love old trucks, and so Mike and I started asking him about it. And what's funny is that Jason also is a race fan like myself and likes the short track, so we kind of got on that subject, and then um, was saying how the truck was his dad's, and his dad had wanted to sell it, and so he got it from his dad, and that it used to be a push truck for short track racing, and then became like a fire truck, not a fire truck, but the where
Yeah.
the crew has it, with their fire safety equipment. And so he was telling the story, and then I said, well, I grew up at Meridian Speedway, literally went to all the races the whole time I was growing up, forever, and I mean I still go, right? And so then he said, yeah, that used to be the truck at Meridian Speedway. So probably multiple evenings throughout the 80s, I was probably at those races where the truck was, the push truck and the race truck. I don't necessarily remember it because I was a kid, but so I don't remember it specifically, but that's just always like so crazy, like the 6 degrees of separation, right?
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool. And I just, uh, and that was a couple things that happened in London. Was I just always love the stories of people that are able to keep cars with memories like that in their family, because my family has not done a good job of it, and Mike and I have done a horrible job. We sell all of our favorite cars, and so I love those stories of when people have owned a car forever. It's been through certain periods of their life. It's been through certain periods of restoration. So cool. So cool. So I loved seeing that. Very, very nice. We're still trying to help. So when you see us look to the side, we're trying to help Joe get in here.
Yep. All right. I'm going to throw Alex's up here. And you can.
Alex, happy Monday. Glad you all made it back and safe and sound. It looked like an amazing trip. It was. We had a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, my dog is having a cow. Yes, it was a great trip, Alex. We had a good time. And the rag company guys, they all made it back safe and sound. We'll
On
save
two
all their
different
stories.
planes.
Yeah, we'll save all their stories for their podcast.
Yeah.
So funny.
JTC is in the house.
JTC. So he's had some good videos this week.
He has. He's
If you
been on
guys
fire.
haven't seen them, which I love this. So a couple weeks ago, we always like to try off-label use stuff, right? And so I had called Jamie and said, "Hey, you got to try this." And so he has, and so he's put out a couple videos on it. But what I loved was he was like, "Man, this is my new favorite off-label use." But it's using Swift and cleaning the gas compartment, which it is. It's like, and I know exactly what he's talking about, because I do the same thing. I get to the end and I'm like, I use it and I go, "Oh man, that was great." Okay, I gotta let my dog out. So I was thinking, "Oh yeah, that was great. That was such, it's just a really nice use for it." This way. Sorry, training the dog on a new location. So yeah, that is one of my favorite uses for Swift as well. I mean, obviously we love it on the interior and it works fantastic, but I love it for doing that. So if you've not seen Jamie's video on that, go check it out, because it's pretty fun. Pretty fun.
Yep. High five, crew. There we go.
Love it. Is there a high five emoji? I think there is, right? But you can't really tell if the guy's just raising his hand or giving a high five.
Hey, look, we got Joe and Cody. It's a
Oh, it's a
triple
whole
play. There we
family.
go.
Oh my gosh.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Oh my Lord.
We can hear you. Did you have to call them home?
Cody just drove over here to help me.
Oh,
may or may
no.
not have been speeding.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, thank you, Cody. Hi, Joey.
Are you
good? I'm good. All right. See what happens when you get old?
That's too
There
funny.
it is.
Okay, now I gotta let the dog in. All right, Joe, tell us how you been. Thanks for joining us.
Good. Tired, but good.
Yeah, you put in a little mileage this weekend. Thanks for coming down to the party. And I know you guys had a great time, but it's always great to see you guys and have time with you. And you've been a little busy lately too. I think you've done a car show or two since I saw you last. Have you not?
Yeah, we took off yesterday. Joey and I got up, took his Mustang, went down to Mustangs on the waterfront in Port Orchard. Had a good time for a while. So.
Nice. Very cool. And did I see there was a couple of awards won?
Yeah, actually, from my understanding, I only saw two of our client cars that won: a 2014 Shelby GT500 and a 71 Mach 1. But I got messages last night that about 8 of our cars had won awards.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. And now we have Joey joining us. Man, so we already talked about, I'm sure you were listening, but we already talked about the Squatchacue and how much fun it was and how good the food was. But how much fun did Joey have?
Oh Lord! Well, he was in rare form when we left. Man, Mike got him going with the squirt and everything.
It's so funny. And you know what? Mike couldn't stop saying it all day yesterday. So we were just talking. The whole way he would say, "You know what we need right now?" And then he'd say, "A squirt." It was so great. I love it. That's so great. That's so awesome. So awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. I am so happy to have you here. And I was, speaking of rare form, I was in rare unorganized form. And it occurred to me on Friday night that I had Bead Maker and coffee this morning. And just with all the travel and time goes by so fast, I hadn't even thought about it. So thank God you were on standby and agreed to come on this morning. So thank you very much. I much appreciate it. We are happy to have you. And so since we're kind of going to take a little break here and talk about, because I don't want to miss this. So always on the show, we have this part where we talk about what was our favorite detail PNS product, like what was something in the last 2 weeks for you that kind of stood out?
It would have to be the Volvo 1800 that I did a polish on Friday. It
Mm-hmm.
was a car that all of us would probably have looked at and said, I am not touching this car. There's no way I'm going to touch this car. It's just it was in really bad it was in bad shape.
Uh-huh.
But the older gentleman told me the story behind the car and why he wanted to have it polished and cleaned up, and I
Mm-hmm.
immediately knew that was like, I got to do this. And the story is, his wife is actually, her health is failing and failing fast.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that she wanted was to go on a date in the Volvo with her husband, like they
Mm-hmm.
did back in the 70s. So I was like, I'll do my best. I mean, it didn't look really good, but it looked okay. And of course, on
Awesome.
that one, it was definitely Kyle's to the rescue on that one.
Yes. Yes. That is still that and UCP, but definitely those two, they tend to be the ones that get you out of a jam
Oh
for
yes.
sure. Yep. Awesome. Well, for me, and I'm actually excited about this part, this is why I didn't want to skip it, is because it's kind of an unconventional product that we never get to talk about. So, I had two cars actually this week, this right after I got home from London, both Thursday and Friday. I had cars that had been fully wrapped, like 100% wrapped. And so I got to use Triple S on both of them, which is not one that we get to talk about. So Triple S is the new wrap slip solution and final sealant for wrap. And so this was in conjunction with Justin Pate at the Wrap Institute. And so it was one that was a lot of fun for Dave to work on. Justin came to the headquarters and kind of worked with Dave on it. It was released at TRSEMA. So I've had it this whole time and haven't gotten to play too much with it, but these cars were both black satin wrap, and one was in not great condition, one was in okay condition. And so it was fun to play with that product as kind of like a final wipe, seal the wrap for them to head out. And number one, it smells fantastic, and then just such an easy application. It really deepened the wrap, made it look super nice, and that was just awesome. And then my other favorite PNS related situation is that for those two wraps, I got to have our very own Tony Mazzell come and work in my shop and help me because I was in a super tough situation. And so he was going to come to the Squatcha and so he selflessly flew into Boise a couple days early just to help me get out of this jam that I was in with my scheduling because we all know I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to my schedule. And so Tony got to work in my shop for 2 days, one day with me, one day with Delaney. And so that was super fun. So I definitely want to give him a shout out for coming and saving the day, wearing a superhero cape, and he just killed it. And I can't thank him enough. So that was super fun to have him in my shop. So he got to use Triple S for the first time too. And both cars left looking great and we survived. Nobody was harmed. And so definitely have to give him a shout out as another favorite PNS thing was Tony himself being here. So yeah, the Triple S and Tony was awesome.
I'm actually I'm excited. We're gonna wrap a car door actually today in satin black,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna hit that thing with car wash soap. I'm not gonna dry it. I'm gonna let that thing get water spotted up so I can actually try what him and Justin came up with to get rid of the water spots. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, we'll talk about that. So yes, so that was so fun. So another shout out to Tony. You're amazing. Um, so well, perfect. Awesome. All right, Keith, do we have some other questions that we need to get into? All right. Does PNS have a product that can strip toppers without harming a coating so a new fresh topper can be applied? So, um, when it comes to toppers, I'm not really sure that you would necessarily need to strip it. I mean, generally, if long enough has gone by, like 3 months, you can just add another topper. But if you really kind of wanted to do what we call like a strip wash, you could use something like EnviroClean, is most likely going to strip most of that off. Um, there's some stripping soaps, that you can use, but anything like that is most likely going to strip off most of, I mean, there's no way for us to know if it's 100% gone, right? So you just kind of take off the top layer so that you have something good for it to bond to. But honestly, toppers, you can put them on every couple months and you're not really going to notice that, there was one before. So toppers don't last very long, or if they do, they are worn down enough that applying a new topper reinvigorates them. So I think you're good to go there. Joe, you have a lot of experience with ceramics and maybe people changing brands and things like that. So, do you have any tips on this? Do you worry about fully stripping a topper?
Not really fully stripping a topper. Now, if it's something that I don't know why they would want to do it, but if it's something that you do want to do, you can actually use panel prep just on a microfiber, spray some squirts on it, and just wipe a panel. That'll get rid of most of it, and
Yeah,
won't harm the coating unless you let it sit
right.
there and dwell.
Yep, yep. All right, and this is from, let me look, I just saw this. I can't remember. Oh, John Folks. So that comment is he's taking his family to Disneyland. It's his daughter's first time. Have so much fun. Oh my gosh. I didn't want to skip over that. Have so much fun. Disneyland is amazing, especially in the eyes of a little one, right?
Unless you have severe anxiety.
Yes. Yeah. I don't go on the rides because I'm afraid of rides, but Disneyland is magical, right?
Oh yes.
See, and as long as you're not afraid of characters in costume. I have seen people that are afraid of that as well. I have. All right. Jamie back. Nice. So we get to see Jamie in a couple weeks. I'm super excited about that. We've got a 2-week countdown from today, Jamie. Hope you're ready to go. Patty says, I'm working on a Corvette with an aftermarket convertible top. It has a couple of white, almost shiny spots. I cleaned the entire top and the spots are still there. Do you think carpet bomber or enzyme spot stain would work on this? That,
Is it? I'm assuming it's probably a black top with some white spots on it.
I would assume, yeah, almost shiny spots. That's interesting.
Those sound like wear
Keith.
spots, and that's
Yeah.
probably why
Yeah,
they're shiny. And
yeah,
yeah, you basically are you're trying to remove wear, and wear doesn't remove.
yeah. I would actually stay away from those. You might make them shinier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with Keith. I think what you're getting to there is the substrate underneath kind of the fabric on that top. And so the substrate of that top is starting to show through like the liner and stuff. So I would probably stay away from them,
Yep.
actually.
All right, I gotta go
I
back in the
would, I
basement
would,
and look for more product.
yeah, I would send them to, maybe a place that does interior or exterior fabric repair and have them totally judge if what we're thinking is correct. But I would refer them out for sure. I would refer them out to somebody that definitely specializes in that, because if you damage a convertible top, and that's thousands of dollars. So for me and my business, I wouldn't even mess with it. I would refer them out to a specialist for sure.
She said it doesn't look like wear spots.
Uh-huh.
Actually, if you find me on Facebook, if you can send me some pictures, I can take a look and we can see what we can come up with for you.
Yeah, because it could be something like sap or something. I just know you want to be super careful because it's easy to damage those tops. But yeah. Um, all right, Sydney. I don't know if you've heard, but I retired from American and detailing full time. I did see that video, so congratulations. That is so awesome. I'm so happy for you, and I know that you're going to do amazing. Howdy, folks. That's a funny way to say howdy. That's awesome. Good morning, Alan. Is Alan here? Did I miss him? He must be one of the Facebook users. Um, Sydney, as a fellow female detailer, you are such a huge source of inspiration. So glad you all had a great time on your trip. Thank you, Christy. That's awesome. I love it when other women
There's
in the chat.
well, I can't let the news out yet. We have a lot of work to do on that, but I'm actually excited. And that comment kind of flows right into what we talked about
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yep. Joe's got some big plans. Stay tuned. Hans got to run and finish the second camper of the day. Oh my goodness. See, this is where our time zones just throw me off. Hans has been working the whole night, which has been our whole night. But second one, you're a beast. I couldn't do it. Jason, smoking the brisket was fun. Always happy to hang with my detail family. Yes. So great.
That brisket was insane.
So good. It was like candy. It literally tasted like candy.
Yes.
Adam, Sydney, I applied Defender using your two towel method, low pile and then high pile. It worked very well. Curious why this method versus applicator and leveling towel. Well, because one, I think that you would probably waste some product trying to use an applicator. You certainly could, but Defender really is a spray-on product, so you can either spray it on the towel or spray it on the vehicle directly. I spray it on the vehicle directly because I don't have any trouble with like flash curing where I'm leaving spots or speckling anywhere. So I think just with an applicator, you may not leave because it's so fine liquid. I'm not sure you would leave enough of it behind using an applicator. I totally think you could. I just think you would lose a lot of the product.
I think it would evaporate a little bit.
Yeah. So you could totally do that. I think just that you're probably leaving more behind and allowing more to cross-link with the paint or the coating by, spraying it on with a towel. So yeah, you could. I just think that you get more on the surface with using a towel. All right, next up, there were so many laughs. Thanks again for coming. This must be Alan. Sorry again, I'm a little bit busy. Be at Waxstock. Huge love, Alan. Yes, you were so busy. And now I see it because, Alan's come over to the U.S. several times. He usually stays with Team PNS and especially at MTE, and it's always so great to have him there. And we always think we're going to have all this time to sit down and, chat and catch up and all of this. And, when he comes over to the US, it's always super busy. And so then in our heads, we were thinking we have Alan all to ourselves. No, because he's like, he's the guy over there. So he was a very busy bee, but we still got to hang out a lot. And we appreciated all of his guidance through the trains. And he definitely was a source of, okay, everybody calm down. We're going to be fine. Good morning to my PNS family. Hi, Mark. A wave. Man, okay, so here's a good time.
That's the high five, Sydney.
High five. Okay, so here is a good time to remind everybody in the Bead Maker Lounge, if you go onto Restream and you register your name and email, then your name shows up in the group. So when you're in the group, like we love it when you guys watch at the Bead Maker Lounge, that's awesome. But if you register with Restream, then your name shows up. And so like Keith and I can see it, but nobody else can see it. So it is super helpful if you go register. So, and I had wanted to look who this was from Pasco. I'm actually going to Pasco this week. So, now I can't find it. It's
Pasco, Washington.
But good morning.
Hot.
Yes. Good morning.
Could that be Ricky?
Ricky?
Who?
Yeah, probably Ricky. Ricky Carter.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. And Anthony, and I don't know if we already passed this or didn't pass it, but I did see the one that said where Anthony said we needed to make a t-shirt that said where's Joe. I thought that was super funny and I think you should totally do it. I think we missed that one, but that was hilarious. Where's Joe?
I work on it for 20 minutes. I can't get it. Cody walks in and goes, there, you're done. I'm like,
oh okay. My gosh, that's so great. I love that he had to rush home. That's so funny. Oh gosh, too funny. This is Robin. Hi, Robin. Again, we'll see Robin in 2 weeks. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. And actually, I need to call you, Robin, because we still need to talk about our outfits, which I saw Tony and Jamie speaking about outfits in the comments. So
Oh,
can't
I
wait
need
for
to
that.
call Robin too.
Can't wait for that. Oh, yes, you do.
Yes.
Shout out to Mustangs. I'm glad somebody loves them. I love a good Mustang, but I hate the paint. I hate the paint. Somebody is going to have to do like, I'm going to have to come to your shop, Joe, and you're going to have to do like boot camp training on Mustang paint. Because, I won't take Mustangs. When they call, I say, nope, I won't do them.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I have the one black one that I got brand new off the truck. And otherwise, most Mustangs now, I turn them down. Here's Mazel the Gazelle with Quirt. Joey, that's for you.
Quirt.
I love it. Penis Detail Products says Anthony Brown Jr. We will probably carry it when it becomes available, but right now we don't have a firm release date. I'm guessing that was about because I saw a comment about Rennie's polisher earlier, so I'm guessing that is in response to that. Very good. Alex, shout out to Mazel the Gazelle. Awesome. Chad says if you want water spots, they won't come. You got to say you don't want them first. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. Mazel the Gazelle. That's so funny. I can't wait to see what those two wear to the party. Black top. So yes, black top on the convertible. So Patty, just reach out to some people with pictures. It's really hard. We can definitely help if we see pictures. And
Put pictures in the Bead Maker Lounge, and then we can get some good conversation there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the best place for them.
And I will make sure that I respond. I respond properly this time.
Yeah, and I'm sure Josh Pierce will have some good input too, so that would be a great place for it.
Yes. Awesome. Probably a wear spot. I think that was Rick Walling. I did catch that one. And she says it did not look like a wear spot. Well, yes, just post up the pictures. We will all help. We'll get a whole crew on it. So Jamie says, I'm still not sure what a cocktail party is or what do you do with your hands? So what you do with your hands, that one's tough because there's a lot of little finger foods that they have at all the little stands. But the hard part is I have no idea what they are. Like it's all above my level. So there's all these words that are, so you're not real sure what you're grabbing to eat. So I hope that you have an adventurous palate because I don't know what the food is, but that's what you do with your hands. You pick up food and you pick up drinks and yeah. But a cocktail party, I'm still not sure what it is either.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. Just give me some absolute and I'll make it happen, Captain. So great. HM Detailing, I'm Canadian. Oh, spill the beans, Joe. Spill them, Chris G. Giovanni.
I can't. I want to so bad, but I can't because I want to make everything right. And it took forever because I thought, well, anyway, I'll just...
Here's what we'll say, Chris, is I will talk Joe into giving the Bead Maker Lounge the exclusive first notice. Is that fair? Like we'll hear it here first, right? When you decide to say what you're doing, you can tell us first, right?
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Let's just say Sydney has a very big part in it, and it took a while to talk her into it.
Oh goodness, what is your process on buffing single stage? You probably see more of that than I do. I've only had a couple of them, and I just freak out. So you take this one, Joe.
Single stage. Oh boy, grab a lot of pads because you are going to go through a lot of pads, and they're going to be trash when you're done.
And don't freak out.
Yeah, and don't freak out. Normally, from what I found with single stage, 2-3 passes and you're done. It's shined up as much as you're going to get it. Any more than that, you're pulling a lot more paint than you want to.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting to me when I first started working on single stages? So we say a lot of pads because the color transfers right away and it's going to freak you out, right? And so The thing that I think is really interesting to learn from working on single stage is that you watch how fast your pads um, clog up, right? Because you are getting color. But the crazy thing is it's happening just as fast on regular clear coats. It's just clear.
Yeah.
So for me, I had a time period of about 3-4 months where I had several single stage come in, and what I noticed is I was better at pad rotation and pad cycling after I had worked on the single stage paints because I learned actually how much clear coat is coming out into my pads. So actually, it still freaks me out, but I actually learned a lot from working on single stage. So, um, but that definitely, you kind of treat it the same way. It's just single stage does tend to be, it dries out a lot. So you want to use a really hydrating, polish. Like for me, it's Kyle's Boat and RV, right? Which was Joe's product this week. So definitely I would have some of that on hand because if you start compounding and polishing and you don't have anything to add back in that hydration,
I
you're going
actually
to wish you
wipe.
did.
I'll wipe off with Bead Maker as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, because that definitely will add some hydration back. But you want to be careful because I have had one where I sprayed Bead Maker on the surface and it was so dry that it sucked it up, and then I had to go back over because then I had like spots of hydration where it
Oh,
it
gotcha. Yeah.
sucks it up before you can even wipe it. So just have some on hand just in case it is super dry. Kimberly back with Acura has been sitting street side for 3 weeks and seeing extreme heat, storms, and wind. Thanks to Defender, it's a dull cleaner and much shinier than the neighbors. Nice. Nice, nice. Still cleaner for sure. Defender handles like this summer, what would I call it? Like summer fallout, summer debris. Defender is really doing a great job. So Defender, we started using it. It was probably almost a year ago when we started, really kind of have it testing. It was late August, early September. And so at least here in Boise, where we have lots of dust storms, lots of thunder, lots of rain, at night, it's very volatile. But heat, like the desert. And so I've got a lot of cars that are parked outside that have Defender on them, and it's holding up very, very well to the summer chaos for sure. All right, Jamie the Cleaner. On the inspirational note, I love how relevant your videos are. You have definitely taught me a thing or two. That's awesome. Very, very good.
You kind of have a way of getting things across. We talked about that this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll tell my team something 150 times, and I don't want to say they won't get it, but and then they come to one training with you, and within 5 minutes they're like, oh, check this out, and I'm like, she's like, Sydney showed us this. Really?
So great. So great. All right. And then better late than never. Hello, Queenie, Joey, and Keith. That is Gabriel. Hello, Gabriel. Thanks for joining us. Ricky Bobby. Yes, Jamie the Cleaner will probably be Ricky Bobby. Good to see everyone this morning. Almost over, but wanted Joey Joe and the Pianist Stars.
Kirby.
Thanks, Kirby. Thanks for joining us. Howdy to Joey. All right, Josh says, speaking of outfits from Monterey, I've got some special edition socks I've made for my suit. That is amazing. I can't wait. I'm just waiting to find out which vibe Jamie goes with. If he's going to go with the Josh Pierce, super fancy, total cocktail party vibe, or if he's going to go with Tony, it could be, a loud, crazy shirt. And I can't wait to see what happens there. So this is from Santiago. So Sydney, let me know more about the Pasco trip. And hi, Joe. Mama not home for good food yet. So I am coming to Tri-Cities this weekend, but I'm kind of passing through. So Santiago actually takes care of my sister-in-law's car. So thank you so much for that. So I'm actually going to see her. We're going to a wedding in Seattle. And Joe, I'm hoping I have 5 minutes to stop by and see you because I'll be in Puyallup. But it's a family wedding, hundreds of family members. It's going to be interesting. So, but on my way back on Sunday, or Saturday, we are staying in Pasco, Santiago. So if I have a second, I will let you know, but it is going to be a crazy weekend.
Let me tell you, if you get a chance when his mom's in town to go over for dinner at his house, oh my Lord.
I bet.
We were over for a tournament, and he's like, come by the house. And I'm like, oh, we're going to head home. He's like, Mom's cooking. I'm like, oh, we are on our way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, Christy, quick question. I used Brake Buster on polished aluminum wheels and it was a no-no. Would Crystal Wash have been better? Ooh, I'm not familiar too much with aluminum wheels or their care. I don't see them a lot. Polished aluminum.
I'm gonna venture to guess on this one that the Brake Buster set a little bit too long on polished aluminum. I made that mistake with my American Force wheels, and it kind of left a little blotchy. But I went back with aluminum brightener, sprayed it down, and everything came back good.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, a higher alkaline product on an aluminum wheel can leave it a little cloudy, potentially a little dull. It'll clean it for sure, but it's going to leave it dull. So you're always a little questionable on wheel acids because they could also mar the product. But yeah, the aluminum wheel brightener is probably your best answer there. Crystal Wash would have been an okay solution, but I'm not sure it would have had the bite to clean that she wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. And always make sure, especially on like aluminum wheels, that they're cool. I know I've heard that can definitely be a problem as well. If they're hot, they definitely will absorb, the spray and all of that. So definitely make sure they're cool. Again, always on wheels that I'm nervous about, I just always rinse them down, before and kind of make sure they're wet and not spray it on dry. Jamie the cleaner, watch the movie Big. Yes, so this is Robin, drink in one hand, mini plate in the other. Perfect. Kyle's boat and RV is great for Old Warren single stage. Yes, it's amazing. It's awesome. Chad says Defender has been great as far as ease and being able to give clients as a topper once coated without fear of clients streaking like new bead maker users. Yes, it is. The learning curve is much easier for sure. For sure. The only reason I haven't been giving it to my clients, honestly, and I'm sure I would be fine too, because I don't know what I'm thinking that my clients would use it every week, but my hesitation has been that I don't want them to use it too often, for fear of, it's not real stackable. You want to wait a couple months in between. But now that I'm saying it out loud, it's kind of funny that I think my customers would actually do it.
They have you.
All right. And how do we figure out we say this? Super Rado? I was always saying Super NATO, but it's Super Rado 2K. Send JTC some Crystal Wash. I'm pretty sure he has some. And I don't know why can we not get this video done? I will. You guys, this summer has been outrageous. Like I literally have not had 1 second to do anything. So, I will get it done. Honestly, like after Monterey and after my kids go back to school, man, my life's going to get a lot easier. So stay tuned.
It's almost a running joke. We can't make the video now because if we did, I don't know.
I know.
Wait, did you say when the kids get back to school, your life's going to be easier?
Yeah, because they'll be gone all day.
Your daughter's a senior. Your life will not be easy this year. Trust me.
I know, but I might have a few hours of peace. But also, I'm going to be crying because then my employee is gone, right? So, yeah. But it's a little crazy around here, for sure. Yes. Yep. You can use it on aluminum, but you have to make sure it's not hot when you spray it on. So, cool water prior. It left a white residue. Yeah. So that should be able to come off with, like we talked about, aluminum brightener or something like that.
Yep. Worst case, you can polish it, but that's exactly what I would have expected it to do. So
yeah,
at least it wasn't an off result that was weird.
Yep. And look, Eddie Cologne is in the house. Good morning, Eddie. Thanks for joining us. Awesome. Eddie with the hay back to everybody. Too funny. All right. What do you got on tap this week, Joe? You
Oh
guys
boy,
busy?
we are. But the saving grace is my wife is finally back after being gone for
Yeah.
almost 3 weeks. So
Oh my gosh.
we did not realize how much Cody and I both how much we hated working in the office and answering phones, and now she's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So, whew.
Too
So
funny. All right. Darren says, can I apply bead maker as you would apply coatings with a microfiber applicator pad? Again, this is kind of similar to Defender. I just don't really see a benefit there. The applicator is going to absorb so much of the bead maker because it's a liquid, not, where we're using coatings, it's a little bit more viscous. So I just don't really see the benefit there. And my fear with this is that you wouldn't leave enough on the surface that it would flash on you real fast and you would probably have more streaking. So I would probably not do that. If you don't want to spray it directly on the panel, you can spray it on a towel, and the other thing too is you're taking your surface that you're applying, a towel is this big and an applicator is this big. And so it's taking you longer to apply a specific surface. And like I said, you're going to have it flash too fast. So personally, I don't see any benefit there. You can always try it. And if it works for you, great. But I would be worried that you would have a spot flash and it would actually take you quite a bit longer. So I would try it and see if it works, but I can't imagine that would be the best way to do it. Kimberly, hey, hope you're getting better. Is Defender okay to use on a wrap? Absolutely. Defender works great on wraps. If you don't have Triple S, no problem. Defender it works great. I mean, Defender is what I use on my personal cars, which both have wraps on the hood. Works great. Yeah, so absolutely no problem. Chad, when are the Swifty shirts coming out? In this heat, I'll need 3 per day doing interiors. I love it. We need to do that. So my daughter, while I was in London, my daughter went to the Taylor Swift concert, and they're called Swifties too. And so I'll have to look at the design of the Swifty shirts and incorporate Swift into that and make some Swifty shirts for us. But I love it. I think that's a great idea. Eddie, I've been using Absolute and seeing some separation. Am I good to shake it up? No shaky. Rock it back and forth. Rock gently. Rock it back and forth. So when you shake it, that's when it separates because the polymers are going to bond to each other and they're going to create like little clumps. So always before you use it each time, just gently rock back and forth. Don't shake it. All right, Kimberly says, scheduled to get off the couch on 8/11 and back in the office, and most importantly, after work, rinseless washes. Yes. Josh says, did somebody say shirt sounds like a project for me? Yes, do it.
Shirts and socks. We want Swifty socks.
Swifty socks. I love it.
That's all I got for comments, guys.
That's all we got.
Uh-oh. One more.
Oh, Eddie. The bottle is dead. It's been shaking it like a salt shaker. Just start gently rocking it.
Gotta rock it like a baby.
It doesn't ruin it to shake it. It just ruins it for the moment. It doesn't ruin it forever. It just will make them bond real tight. So just gently shake.
Let it rest for a day or two.
Gently rock.
Gently rock.
Yeah. Gently rock.
Well, we didn't say it, but today's show sponsor was officially Clean and Shiny from the UK. So wanted to get that shout out to John Hole and his team and Will and all the folks there. Thanks for hosting us last week. It was a great time, and we really appreciate it. We're kind of at the end of our time, Sid. You and Joe, where are you going to be in the next 2 weeks, you guys?
Well, today I'm going to spend the whole day with a Toyota Sequoia that's black. So I'm going to go get started on that, and it's not going to be fun. So wish me luck on that. But then in 2 weeks from today, we will have another bead maker and coffee, and I will have a very special guest as my co-host with me. And not to give anything away, but I will be in Hayward, California, getting ready to go pick up the team from the airport. So I will join you guys live from the training center, And then we will head out to pick up from just 2 different airports at that point, the team for Monterey Car Week. So that is the official kickoff day for that project. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We have an amazing team this year. I cannot wait. It's going to be so fun. And so I will be there. Keith will join us. You'll be in town too, won't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
I will be there.
Keith will already be there. Yeah,
I'll be
so
there. I get there 10 minutes before you.
Yeah. So Keith will be there too. So we'll all be there. It's going to be great. So we will be, and then that week we'll be in Monterey the whole week, working Monterey Car Week. We'll be at the Jet Center for a couple days, and then we'll be at the Quail. And we've got some auctions to do. We have 2 this year. It's the same auction split into 2 nights, so that's going to be interesting. I actually think that's a great idea because last year it was crazy doing 200 cars in one night. But yeah, so excited about that. So 2 weeks from today is the kickoff. So for the next 2 weeks, I am traveling to the wedding and detailing. I've got lots of coatings coming up. It's going to be crazy. Crazy. How about you, Joe?
This week is actually a lot of prep work for the Cruise and Arrows Car Show. It's one of the biggest car shows in Washington, and we're one of the biggest sponsors. So we got the P&S booth that we're getting dialed in again this weekend. So
awesome.
A lot of prep going for that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. And your car will be there front and center.
Yeah. Yay.
And I'm in Eugene next Saturday to do a coding class. So that's my road trip before I meet
Where
you. Todd Krieger, our distributor down there, set it up. I will post it on the lounge as soon as I have the address and flyer done.
Sweet. You know me.
Awesome. Christy, if you're near Hayward, you should stop by that Monday morning and say hi. We'll all be there. I think we probably start airport pickups around 10, I want to say. But
8 something. It's early.
Well, yeah, I'm going to arrange for that guy to get picked up by somebody. He already took care of that. That's our little Tony. He lands at 8. Anyway, so we'll figure that out. But Christy, send a message. Maybe you can stop by and say hi. We'll all be in the house. So I'm not sure what song we're talking about, but everyone's humming a song. That's perfect. All right, guys. Well, I need to go get started on this Sequoia. And thanks, Joe, for joining us. I'm glad we finally figured that out. I appreciate it. Thank you, Joey. It was so great to see you this weekend.
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink, Joey?
Squirt.
Squirt. Love it. Awesome. All right, everybody. We'll have a great week, and we will see you in 2 weeks from
see you in 2 weeks, everyone.
All righty.